Hi everyone, Lisa here with Mini Me in Tennessee, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please be sure that you hit that subscribe button before you leave, as I would love to have you join my family here at Mini Me in Tennessee. And also, if you're new here, I am a gastric bypass weight loss surgery patient. I did have gastric bypass surgery in July of 2016 and since have lost a little over 100 pounds. I am currently in the maintenance phase of my weight loss journey. Today's video is 5 tips for success after weight loss surgery. That is a question that I get often, is what do I feel like has contributed to my success as a weight loss surgery patient? I get this question a lot. And it's not just one thing, it's quite a few different things, I feel like. And so I'm going to talk about 5 of those today, probably the ones that I feel that were the most important in my success. And just please remember that the things that I give you today may not necessarily work for you. This is just what works for me. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. I am not a medical expert by any means. I am not the perfect bariatric patient. I slip up all the time. This is what I chose as the top 5 for me personally. And I thought I would share that with you guys since I get asked that question a lot. And these 5 are in no particular order. I just wrote down the first 5 that came to mind. Number 1, weighing and measuring my food. I have done this from the very first day that I started my 6-month medically supervised diet as a pre-op weight loss surgery patient. Since about months, I don't know, 6, 7, somewhere around in there, I started eating about 6 ounces of food, so a year and a half ago or so. And still at this phase in my journey, I can still only eat 6 ounces of food or less, depending on my restriction that particular meal or that particular day. I weigh my food to make sure that I only have 6 ounces on my plate because I know that that's all I can eat. Therefore, if there's only 6 on my plate, I can't overeat. And I never, ever, ever go back for seconds. Never, ever, ever. That's something I used to do in the past, and I refuse to do that now, and I have never done that since the day of surgery. I feel like it's very important to know how much you're taking in. That way, if you're tracking, you know exactly how many calories, how many carbs, how many fats, and all that you're taking in so that you meet your macros or attempt to meet your macros. And I just feel like it's such an important thing to do no matter how far out you get. I'm not saying that you have to do it at every single meal, but do it occasionally just to make sure that you're still eyeballing the right amount of food. I get satisfied at 6 ounces or less. That's all I can eat. And if there's more on my plate because of my past with binge eating, eating disorders, emotional eating, if it's there, I'm going to try to eat it because I have a problem with wasting food as well. And at times I even make myself leave a bite or 2 on my plate, even if I could finish it, just to try to help train my thought process into realizing that just because it's there doesn't mean I have to eat it. Number 2, I have stayed on my bariatric diet. I feel that has been a huge contributor to my success. I've heard it time after time after time. I tried this diet. I tried that diet. It didn't work. I tried Weight Watchers. I tried the soup diet. I tried a liquid diet. I've tried the fruit diet. I've tried the veggie diet. I've tried this. I've tried that. And what happens when we do those things, guys? We might lose the weight, but once we go back to eating like a regular person, we gain it back, right? We gain it back and then some, right? That's what happens. That was the cycle that we went through over and over and over again when we were obese. That was one of the things that we all complained about, or the majority of us complained about, was this cycle of dieting for years and years and years. And did it work for us? No. That's why we had weight loss surgery, right? Because those diets don't work for us. I see this a lot in the community. People trying these pouch resets or some kind of a fad diet or going on liquids for 2 or 3 days or, whatever the case may be. Why are we doing these things? It didn't work for us before weight loss surgery. Why are we doing these things now? I don't get it. I just don't get that. I have stayed on my bariatric plan from day one, and I have never swayed from that. I know a lot of people do keto, and I'm not ragging on keto. I personally do not think that would work for me. 1, I'm gastric bypass, so I malabsorb fat. 2, I don't have a gallbladder, and the sound of all that fat just does not appeal to me. I know a lot of people in the community are on keto, and they've had a lot of success with it, but that's not something that I feel like I could do for the rest of my life. So if that is something you're considering, please don't do it within the first year of your surgery. And the reason I say that is because the keto diet, the way I understand it, you're dropping your protein. And I really truly feel like you need as much protein as you can get during that first year. I truly believe that. This is just me talking. This is my personal opinions. I truly believe you need as much protein as you can possibly get. And if you decide to do that after your first year or before, if you so choose, please talk to your dietitian or your nutritionist. Let them know what your plan is. Let them help you figure out the right way for you to do it, especially if you're gastric bypass or DS or something along those lines where you have malabsorption, because your needs are going to be different than someone, say, who is VSG. That's just my personal opinion about that. But yes, I have always stayed on my bariatric plan. It has worked for me. Yes, I did have stalls at times. And yes, I did struggle through that, and it was hard. But guys, and I know hindsight is 20/20, but what you have to realize is stalls will break. It may take a while, especially if you're early out. I mean, if you hit a stall 4 months out, you're not done, guys. You're not done. You're just going through a body reboot, I guess is a good way to put it. Your body sometimes needs a chance to catch up. It's not used to you losing all this weight so quickly. And sometimes it's going to say, whoa, hold on, what's going on here? Let me figure out what's going on here, because all of a sudden I'm not getting the nutrients I used to get. I'm not getting the fat I used to get. I'm not getting the carbs I used to get. Let me think about this a little bit, and I'll get back to you. That's kind of the way I try to look at it. I know it's hard. I know when we hit stalls, it is so hard and it's so frustrating, especially when they last, months and months. But if you are not done losing weight, it's going to break. I know it's hard to be patient, but I'm just saying, be patient. Realize as long as you're on plan and you're doing everything right, just realize your body is trying to catch up. And it needs a little bit of time to do that. So try not to freak out as best you can. That being said, another thing that I would like to remind you guys, even though I lost well over 100% of my excess body weight, not everybody does that. The surgery itself guarantees you what? Like 60%? So if you lose 60% of your excess body weight, you're considered a successful weight loss surgery patient. Number 3, I tried not to beat myself up for slip-ups. Look, guys, we're all human. Do we not beat ourselves up for making one little slip-up? I hear it in the community all the time. Oh, I gained 4 pounds. It must have been because I ate a cookie at my sister's house over the weekend. no. One little cookie did not cause you to gain 4 pounds over the weekend. And we sit here and we try to overanalyze and overthink. Well, I gained 4 pounds. What did I do wrong? Oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? And have I stopped losing weight? What's wrong with me? What did I do? Body weight is going to fluctuate. Sometimes we get some water retention, especially as females. Around your cycle, you know, those things happen. Don't beat yourself up so much. And if you do have a slip up and it's a major slip up, take a deep breath, start over again tomorrow. We can always start over again. It's never too late, right? And don't think because you had a really bad breakfast that you just have to blow the rest of the day up too. If you decided to have a cinnamon roll for breakfast one morning, don't feel like just because you screwed up in the morning that you have to screw up the rest of the day too. I've heard this a lot in the community too. Well, I had such and such that morning, so I just went ahead and just ate whatever I wanted the rest of the day. You can make up for it, guys. You can make up for it. So, and don't beat yourself up. You're only human. It's okay once in a while. It's okay. Take some deep breaths and start all over again. Number 4, and this one took me a while to realize, as you guys that follow me will know. You've got to get your head right. You've got to get your head right. I know I did this too. A lot of people do this. I am very guilty of this. I had it in my head pre-op that weight loss surgery was going to fix my life, fix everything about my life. If I could just be thin, everything else in my life would be fine, would be perfect. I just need to be thin and everything else will be fine. That's what I kept telling myself. And that's not true. It is not true. Being thin helps. You're healthier, you can do more things, you feel better, and you look better. In some opinions. But it doesn't fix this up here, guys. I have said this so many times throughout my journey. Weight loss surgery does not fix your head. One of the things that the psychologist said when I had my psychological evaluation for my approval for weight loss surgery was that I possibly have binge eating disorder, or he picked up on that in the test that I took, that questionnaire. And it's very true. At the time I didn't realize it, and I thought, binge eating disorder, why, he's crazy. He's got to say something for the insurance approval. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was telling myself. Now, he was right. Not only do I have binge eating disorder, but I'm also addicted to carbs. I'm also addicted to sugar. And I'm an emotional eater. And all of it comes from up here. All the things that I've gone through in my life, all the ways that I've tried to deal with my anxiety, and I've always tried to do it with food. Sugar is like a drug for me. And I tried to tell myself at one point before I started going to therapy that I'm not binge eating anymore. I can't physically binge eat because I can't eat that much. Not true. Not true, guys. Binge eating is not about the amount of food you're eating. It's about the act of binging. Not about the amount you're eating, the act of binging. I have to work on that almost daily. I have the urge to do it all the time. I still do, even after weight loss surgery. Therapy is helping. It certainly is. Anxiety meds are helping. Depression meds are helping. I still have a long way to go, but it is helping. So what I would say to you is, if you feel you may have an eating disorder, if you feel you are an emotional eater, if you feel you have any kind of emotional attachments to food or sugar or carbs or breads or whatever the problem may be, please think about therapy. I feel it's so important, and I don't think enough people in the community seek it out. And I am scared to death of gaining back my weight. Scared to death of it. And I've got to learn how to cope with life and problems and anxiety and things without using food. And therapy is the only way I'm going to learn how to do that, because I discovered, you know, a little over a year into this thing, that I can't do it on my own. So I know that sometimes it's hard to admit that we need outside help. And I know that there's such a stigma to mental illness or emotional issues or whatever. We sought out help for our obesity, right? So why not seek out help to help fix the problem up here that help contribute to our obesity? I really think it's important, guys. I really do. And number 5, last but not least, you need a support system. If you are pre-op, please figure out a support system. I have an amazing husband who has been very supportive of me, and I have some great kids. They weren't on board in the beginning, but everything's good now. And I think a lot of times when it comes to your really close family, they don't feel you need it because they don't see what you see when you look in the mirror. They think higher of us than we think of ourselves a lot of times. And so they don't always think we need it. And of course, there's always that stigma of it's the easy way out, but it's not, guys. It's not the easy way out. This has been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. And it's still there today. It's a daily thing. It's a daily thing. I have to think about what I'm putting in my mouth. I have to think about what I'm putting in my grocery cart. And a lot of times when I get those naughty things that I get, I feel guilty about it when I get it home. You know, it's all up here. But you really need a support system. If it's not your spouse and it's not your family, if you don't have anybody to help you out and to be supportive, you need to seek someone out. That is something the psychologist is going to try to figure out from you in that psychological evaluation. Do you have a support system? They know how important it is for you to have that. You have to seek out a support system. Family, friends, you know, therapist, YouTube, a support group. You've got to find some sort of support system because this is hard. This is hard, and you need somebody there to be able to lean on and go to when times get really bad, especially when you hit those stalls. Those stalls are hard. Those stalls are hard. And you need somebody there to help you through that. You need someone there to help you through the emotional times. Life happens sometimes, guys. For me personally, I've had some medical issues since my surgery, not necessarily because of my surgery, but other things have gone on. I've had deaths in the family. And if I hadn't had my husband there to help me through those times, I don't think I would be the success that's sitting here in front of you today. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my video. If you have not subscribed already, be sure you hit that subscribe button below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.